Welcome to the number one Bengals podcast.
I thought for a second we had Borat on the show.
Yeah, sans Daddio. No Daddio today.
I don't think I can make like a politically correct Daddio impersonation, so I just kind of went all with it.
Anything you say would be racist.
But also, I mean, Daddio's not exactly the most politically correct human being or puppet I've ever seen.
Right.
But yeah, no Daddio today. I'm not sure what his excuse was. He's off playing some type of musical instrument for like someone. I don't know. It was weird, the explanation he gave you. What was the explanation he gave you, Hoji?
Well, I think there's a political dimension to it, so we won't really know until we check out tomorrow's headlines. But yeah, it's probably something corrupt. It's probably something involving embezzlement. So best not to talk about it on the show.
That typically happens. But welcome to the number one Bengals podcast. And this is a great show. This is a show that I enjoy every single year because it is the show where we recap what the draft was.
And that's like your thing, John. That's like your,
Look, 7 years ago was the first time I was ever on this show. And we recapped the 2016 draft, which had a guy that's still playing for the team in Tyler Boyd. And I remember Hoji was not really liking that pick. He wanted this guy named Sterling Shepard at the time.
Correct.
And I think Hoji's kind of eaten his words a little bit about that.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
With some vegan cream sauce, yeah. But I was looking at that intro, and a thought passed through my mind, which is, I love football. Like, I mean, I know about the concussions, I know about the downside, but wow, what a sport. It's kind of like drugs. Like, they're not good for you, but like, who cares? I just can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait until September or August or whenever we start, because this team is stacked, John. It's so stacked, and we just keep getting stackier. And I feel like that's what happened. Yeah, I feel like this is the stackiest team we've ever had. I feel like it's so stacked right now that you can't even fit a paper through that stack.
If the team was like a sandwich, how many layers? Like, are we talking about Scooby-Doo like levels of like?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The kind that has like extra slices of bread in there. Like, that's when you know it's a legit sandwich, when there are more than 2 slices, and we've got like at least 7 slices.
I feel like yes. I mean, am I right, John, about this? Like, now, like, we feel really good, right? I mean, I know that I'm kind of jumping the gun here, but I mean, I feel so good. I just read the headline.
Yeah. So let's get into some of these stacks.
Let's get into the stats.
It's a good theme for the draft, I think. Like, it wasn't about filling immediate needs. In fact, very little immediate needs were filled because they didn't really have any, right? So this was about stacking the team to make sure it's in a good position for the years to come when you have a lot of expensive contracts on the books. And we already went through the first 3 rounds. Me and Daddio did. We went into that pretty in depth. But obviously the 4th through 7th round, like, that's Bridget's expertise, that's Hoji's expertise. That's why you guys are on the show to talk about it with me. And we want to talk about this first level of sandwich. And it's a very skinny one. It's a very small one, but it packs a lot of punch. And we're talking about your Charlie Jones. Like, look at this guy, right? He's 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing, and he's doing plays like this. Like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little taller than Rudy, but like, is he?
Is he? I don't know. But and if you look at when he runs, his legs are doing all the work. He's just like, those legs are just really carrying him like a horse, or like some sort of, you actually, it reminds me of Charlie Horse, right? Charlie Jones, Charlie Horse, it works. The man is got a great pair of legs. And didn't he do really well on when they measure the running with a number?
Yeah, the 40-yard dash.
The 40-yard dash, yeah.
Yeah, he runs 40 yards in a straight line, and then they stop the clock when he passes yard 40.
And so I'm guessing it only took him like 5 minutes.
A little bit less, 4.43 seconds to be exact.
And that's really good, right?
It is very good. Like, he's not the biggest. He's 5'11", 180, I think, is his official height, which is why it was surprising, I think, when they took him, because they don't normally draft or really roster receivers who are that small. But I think the thing with Charlie is, or sorry, I'm not going to call him Charlie because his nickname is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
Tell
It's
me.
Chuck Sizzle.
Oh,
dang.
that's right.
Oh, dang.
That is the
Yeah.
greatest.
That's a great name for
Yeah.
Cincinnati, by the way. Something about it fits
Fair.
our culture. Yeah.
Chuck Sizzle.
in the natty. Oh, it's miraculous.
It's perfect. He was born to
I
be
mean,
here.
he's a baller. He really is. Like this guy started in Buffalo of all places in like 2017. Was there for a couple of years, and then you know what? I'm not getting featured in this offense, so I'm going to go to the best offense in the nation. Sarcasm. Iowa for another couple of years, and he's like 4 or 5 years into his college career. COVID happens, so he gets another year of eligibility. And then he's like, okay, you know what? I've been through 2 college offenses that just don't feature me one iota. Let me go to a place that will do that in Purdue. And he's like 24 years old, and he's having the best season of his life. And all of a sudden, he's a 4th-round pick for the Bengals. So great story for him.
Yeah. I'm excited about that guy.
And the draft was averaging, because of COVID and the extra year, our guys are a little bit older coming in than we've
Yeah.
seen in the
Yeah.
past on average.
Yes.
Do you think that matters at all? Does that put them more in their prime right now? Does it just take less time off their careers?
Probably
That's a
more
good
the
question.
second one, I think, because, like, again, Chuck Sizzle is going to be 25 this year. So you're talking about being 27, 28 by the time that second contract comes around. So naturally, your career span is a little bit shorter in that sense. But this might be the last year that we see that, just because the guys who are coming into the draft next year, they entered college in like 2019 or whatever. So
What-
yeah, this is the last year for that probably.
Yeah. And then there's also the old man strength factor. I don't know if you know this, Bridget, but there comes a time in a man's life, usually his mid-20s, where old man strength starts to come in. And the jars he couldn't open as a teenager or as a 20-year-old, all of a sudden he's opening, gray hairs are popping up on his chest, but at the same time, he's got that old man strength. You want to feel old man strength, you got to shake an old man's hand. It feels like he wants to rip it off. And I'm guessing Chuck Sizzle, he's got a little bit of old man strength coming in.
Feels like there's a little difference between a mid-20s man with old man strength, in quotes, and like an old man.
Well, it just
whose
keeps
hand-
getting more and more, Bridget. Yeah.
I feel like there's a point of diminishing marginal utility on that.
So
but
far, my old man strength just goes up and up, Bridget. Up and up.
that's the drugs you talked about.
Yes, yes.
All
On the
right.
subject of strength, though, the next pick that the Bengals made was a running back, a very strong running back. He bench repped, I think, 25 reps of 225 pounds, which is like 2 million pounds in total after 25. His name is Chase Brown, and he's a running back out of Illinois. And guys, he's a very talented running back. Like, look at this clip. Look at the balance. Look at the burst.
Wow.
The speed. Yeah. I mean, you have to be fast when you wear number 2 as well. But just, I think, like, the thing about Chase is that it's hard to bring him down, not in the sense that he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but the combination of the two compared with just the overall balance in which he runs, it's hard to bring him down, and it's easy for him to absorb contact and generate yards after the contact. So I think when you look at who they had last year in Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, pretty decent backs, but you didn't have enough of falling for it. You didn't have enough of just making the most out of those carries. And Chase Brown carried the ball like well over 300 times this past year at Illinois, and they gave the ball to him consistently, like 30 times a game, just because they knew that it was just going to be a positive play every time that they gave him the ball, and that's probably what the Bengals expect him to do.
So
How was his blocking?
So that was interesting because he actually is, in the past 2 years, he had more pass protection opportunities than like Samaje Perine, almost like doubled it. So like Samaje Perine was obviously the Bengals pass blocking back for the past couple of years. Chase Brown comes in with that experience. He's just not quite there yet. And that's pretty normal for most college running backs because they're not typically tasked to do that much. But Chase Brown was an exception. Like, he was just never off the field. They just trusted him to do everything, but he still has ways to go with that. So I don't know if he's going to be coming in day one and being tasked with that sort of stuff. It's very rare for a rookie anyways, but he does have the experience to do that.
So two questions. Question
Okay.
one: is Joe Mixon worried about this? Is this a threat to being a starter? Is he going to be the guy?
I don't know, because I think when you draft someone in the 5th round, you're not really expecting them to just be a starter out the gate, but I think they expect him to have a big role. And I think we're now seeing some sort of needed evolution with the Bengals, where they used to just take these guys in the second round and just plug them in as starters, even though it kind of ignores the whole position of value argument with running back. A fifth rounder in Chase Brown probably gets you the same production as a second round running back this year. So that's obviously great drafting by them. I don't think Chase Brown starts this year. I think it's still Joe Mixon until something develops with his situation. And if it does, then they'll have to go from there. But I think it's going to be Brown and Mixon kind of sharing the load this year.
And second question, Joe Mixon fell to us in the draft because he had been a little bit violent with his girlfriend, if I remember correctly. What's the story here? Why did he go so late? Why didn't someone else snatch him up?
Well, Chase Brown, first off, is an angel. And he's like
Yeah, we could use some
person.
angels.
He and his twin brother had the most amazing story that you'll ever read. Like they grew up in Canada. Like their dad was a CFL player, but their dad was never in their lives. It was just their mom who was struggling to make ends meet. And eventually, at the age of 16, they moved. The twin brothers moved down to Florida to be, to live with host parents while they attended a very nice school and got to play football at a very nice high school. And they just grinded their butts off until they earned college scholarships. And now they're both in the NFL. I think they're the first pair of twins to be drafted in the same draft since like Rondi and Tiki Barber back in 1997. So, yeah, the only reason why he was there is because he's also a little bit old. He's 23, and he carried the ball like over 600 times, which typically means your shelf life for running back, you're not going to last too long in the NFL, but even still, like he's a fifth-round running back. I don't think they're expecting 10 years of production out of him.
Well, what's funny is I actually didn't get to see much of the draft because I was in Canada in a conference on healing the world. So my message to you, Chase Brown, is I cannot wait to hear more about your successes. That's how they say about Bridget in Canada. They say about.
Thank you for translating that. I would have been so confused.
Yeah, they don't know. People don't know that. I speak the language. I speak all kinds of languages. One of them is Canadian.
So
Yeah,
just
as
in
does-
the...
As does TB83, who apparently, that's not a Canadian chef. That's a Swedish chef.
It's a Swedish
but
chef.
whatever.
It's got to be Tyler Boyd's burner account.
Well, I met
Gotta be.
I met a Swede in Canada, so they do exist.
Did I lose my train of thought? No, I didn't. So on the note of running backs, so we saw what's his name, DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift. Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. He went to the Eagles for a pretty nominal trade. Really, I don't think the Lions came out on top. Any chance you thought we might be in the Swift market?
Well, I actually want to bring in my insider here. I don't know how he just got into the stream, but let's see what he has to think.
Wait.
Yeah.
It's funny of you to show
Wait.
up, man.
What?
Well,
It's unauthorized.
I thought we were
completely
I
unauthorized.
thought we were having a no daddy show. I mean, not
You
like
can only
I
wish.
mind. It's nice to see you, Daddy. Of course.
Yes.
We were all trying to guess what had happened and why you weren't here.
well, I saw the monetization for this show skyrocketing, and I wanted to share. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on that. So they thought
Yes, we all
it was
missed
a
your
John
feedback,
show.
Mike.
Yeah.
Exactly. You
I
just
got the
brought the
feedback
production value
Yeah,
down
we were
at least 5.5 points.
Oh.
And I see you're still at your offshore location, undisclosed, PO box nowhere.
Yes, well,
The famous call my lawyer facility, as it's called.
yes, well, it is very tough being a Bengals fan in this economy. I have to make ends meet somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I just
So the
hope they're
mic
not
is still
meeting- I
has
just
problems.
I hope the ends are not meeting in an undisclosed location with a bunch of cash in a briefcase.
That's why we have Bridget. She knows all the loopholes.
Yeah, thanks, Bridget. Kudos. So Daddy, what do you feel about the rounds 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the draft? We haven't got. Are we getting to what I'm so really excited about yet, which is the punter? Because we really needed the punter. That was actually a need fulfillment, wasn't it? Or am I
Yeah.
jumping the gun once again?
Well, I think I'm going to jump the gun, and we're going to take a break from covering all of the different draft picks, and we're going to talk about a very special man who is the nephew of a very, very special man. And I'm talking about Mr. Shedrick Jackson, who's our special guest today. Welcome to the show.
Wow!
Thanks for having me.
It is
What's up,
such a
Shed?
delight to have you on the show and
Awesome.
have you on the Cincinnati Bengals. We're all so excited.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Can't wait to get to Cincy. Check out the
Yeah.
city.
Have you ever been to Cincinnati before?
I have not. Never been to Ohio.
Don't drink the water.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even if it's
out of
bothered.
the faucet is fine.
No.
Don't go down to the river, the second most endangered river in the country.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. Can't be doing
No,
that.
I had a few cups of that water, incontinent for life. You got to stay away from Cincinnati water. Everything else is great. Just drink, your colas, your soda waters, orange juice. Stay away from the water.
Well, y'all looking out for me. I appreciate it.
But no, I'm kidding. We're really hyped to have you. This is an exciting team, and we've seen the clips of some of your play, and you are an exciting player. So I feel like you fit right in.
For sure. I hope to be that in Cincinnati. I'm looking to make big plays and come in and make an impact.
How does it feel, Shed, coming into Joe Burrow's offense? I mean, this is one of the most interesting and exciting and sometimes frustrating offenses, but when they are big, they are big. So how does that feel? Like, what are you most looking forward to?
For sure. I'm looking forward to just coming in with some playmakers. I watched Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase being at Auburn. I've actually played them in Death Valley, so I've seen what they can do, and other players they got like T. Higgins. So I'm excited to get in the receiver room, learn from those guys, and just, like I said, try to make an impact and make plays myself.
Okay, one question before I turn it over to my colleagues. So T was not a big fan of playing in that Buffalo snow game. Little too cold. You've been in the South for a while. How are you going to feel with your first snow game?
Yeah, you got to wear mittens.
Man, that's gonna be an experience. I've played in some cold games, but never like up in the north. All that snow. We don't get much snow down here in Alabama, so definitely something I have to get adjusted to. It'll be exciting, but it'll be a fun experience too.
Just whatever you do, remember, rear-wheel drive cars do not do well in snow. I learned that the hard way. It's got to be front-wheel drive, so if you've got a Beamer, like I had when I moved to Cincinnati, it's not going to work. It's got to be front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
So he got a Beamer. I got to get like him.
Yeah.
Get like him.
I had a real rear wheel drive. I can't say that with my speech impediment. A Mini Cooper when I moved to Cincinnati,
How'd
and I
that
got
go?
stuck. I got stuck in a parking lot.
There you go. See?
Oh, so this must happen often with the snow and stuff.
Yeah. But it'll be fine. Just front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Those are your options. Most cars now are front-wheel drive. I'm sure you're going to be fine.
So I'm gonna get it right.
Daddy will
Guys,
pick you
it's,
up.
it's almost like you guys aren't familiar with Shed because the guy is faster than a car. Now,
there we
a
go.
4.27 40, 11 feet 2 inches on the broad. Like, come on, man.
Dang.
Like, you couldn't jump a little bit further than that.
We're so excited. Really. Tell us more, John. Go ahead.
Can
I
I
had
pull up? Can I pull up his athletic profile? Because it's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
Wait a
decent.
minute. What does 6.67 mean for height? 6.67 what?
Eh, it's just a number.
Meters.
Yeah.
Meters?
That's incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But seriously though, like a 4.340, was that higher or lower than your expectation? Because clearly, I mean, it's pretty fast.
I would say that's decent for my expectations. I was hoping to run a lot faster. I know the fastest guy who I ran it was actually another Bengal from Michigan who ran a 4.26, so I watched him do that in the combine. And, I've always known my speed. I know how much work I put into it, so I was hoping to get big numbers that day.
Mr. Jackson, you are obviously, I'm going to address the goat in the room, and that is the greatest athlete of all time is your uncle, Mr. Bo Jackson. He's everybody agrees he's the greatest athlete of all time,
Yeah.
and he knows every sport. I don't know if you're too young, but when we were middle aged, there were these commercials talking about Bo knows this, Bo knows that. He was the original Chat GPT, is what that's what they would call him today. He knew every sport. So your father, obviously, was he also an exceptional athlete, or where do you think did you engage with your uncle at a young age, or how did you get into sports?
Um, I would say I got into sports really when I moved back down to Birmingham from Huntsville, which is like the northern part of Alabama. The football and the sports in Birmingham is, on another level. We have a lot of products in the NFL, a lot of products doing big things athletically. So just that competitive nature of these people down here, it pushed me. I've always been a competitive person, so it just made me better. And I always wanted to strive for things that like stuff like Bo did, trying to be better than him, and I feel like I'm a better athlete. So
There we go. See, that's what I want to
Oh,
hear. I like confidence, and I feel like you're going to fit right in this team because this team, this Cincinnati Bengals, what I love about them is their sheer arrogance and audacity, and I think that'll fit right in that statement you made. You're going to be as great as you want. You visualize it, you make it happen.
You're conflating arrogance and
yeah.
confidence.
Like it's almost like he's not a good athlete, is what you're saying, which is not true. I mean, would a bad athlete make plays like this?
Show me.
4th and 16, games late in the game, and who does the Auburn quarterback go to if not
That's-
Shed Jackson?
Well,
But Chet, I want to ask about that game real quick because in 2021 was your best year at Auburn. You had like over 500 yards, and that game specifically, you crossed 100 yards for the first time. What really clicked in that game in the offense for you?
I remember that game. Yeah, it clicked. I had a big game. Unfortunately, we did not come away with the win, but I just felt like me and TJ got on the same page. We had a good game plan going in there, and we got behind a couple of times and just trying to get back up and come back with a win. So we were pushing and trying to make plays, but fell a little bit short.
So Shed, our offense is heavy on great wide receiver plays. I mean, that is Joe Burrow knows how to use every one of his weapons, and we saw wide receivers like Trenton Irwin come out this season. Like that's not Jamar, that's not T, that's not Tyler. Like what excites you about this kind of wide receiver driven offense, and what are you hoping might be like your shining moment this season?
Yeah, I mean, when you got a great quarterback like Joe Burrow, he can spread the ball around to plenty of receivers, and you got the weapons out there. It makes it easier for him. And you got an O line that can protect. When it all comes together and it all clicks, it's a great thing to see. So hopefully this year, myself and the other receivers that we pick up through the draft, and obviously the ones that are there, we can all make it click and make big plays this year, and you know get the people in Cincinnati excited about something.
What and
Well, just real quick, Bridget, because in 2019 is the game that like Joe Burrow and LSU they kind of struggled against Auburn, and you played in that game. Like, what were your thoughts watching that team? Because they were rolling into Auburn, like, or I think you got like I think they were undefeated at the time, obviously, and you guys gave them a good fight. Like, what were your thoughts and impressions about Burrow and Chase in that game?
Yeah, I remember watching that game and obviously being there on the sideline watching that offense. I had to, most games. Um, Sometimes watching other offenses, you're not standing up, you're on the sideline getting adjustments and stuff. But I remember standing up and watching that one. I had to see it. But like you said, they didn't do too much against us. We held our own. We almost came out with a win in Death Valley. So uh, that was a fun game to watch. And yeah, I think they're great players, both of them. Seeing it in person and obviously seeing it on TV what they can do.
I just have to know, Shed, what AFC North opponent do you hope we just annihilate this season?
Um, that's a great question. I would say maybe, I guess the best team would be the Ravens, maybe. So
It's hard because they're also hateable. They're also hateable.
yeah,
The Ravens are the best team, but yeah. If we lose the Steelers,
yeah,
Yeah,
I
go
gotta get
ahead.
updated on the rivals for sure.
Yeah. Basically, the Steelers are the nastiest people on earth. All
Can I-
the entire yeah.
Now they haven't come out with the schedule for next year yet, right?
They're saying May 11th is the schedule release date.
So, Shed, I wonder. It'll be great to see you play. I will tell you this. This is you picked the right team. I mean, this place for wide receivers, it's like Top Gun for pilots. This is where the best go, and they do the best. And there's going to be some bogeys on your tail. There's always going to be bogeys on your tail. But I have seen you do what Tom Cruise did in Top Gun 1, and what a much older and yet somehow younger looking Tom Cruise did in Top Gun 2, which is I've seen you outrun people and do maneuvers. So, great.
Oh yeah, let him do big things. Sure.
Well, we'll have to get him up to speed on the whole AFC North stuff.
He's been. Yeah, I know. Not a lot of people have as much time to watch football. I mean, movies as I do. Yeah.
Shed, let me just the wide receiver market has exploded. So in about 3-4 years, you are probably going to be making about $40 million a year.
That's the guess. That's our estimate. We
That
have
is our
someone
estimate.
working on those kinds of numbers.
Question number one: how are you preparing for that? What kind of investments? Because obviously your uncle Bo Jackson, he knew everything, and we have some issues. We have some tax fraud issues, and I don't want to blame people, Bridget, but we haven't been the best at managing things here. So,
And I mean, I feel like our show
Do
is a
our
great investment,
accounting.
right, Adio? Our show is quite the investment.
right.
If someone has some extra
Right.
money or something.
Yeah, I mean, you know that all these different bitcoins, these different digital coins, they're not trending in the right direction. What people are doing is they're investing in podcasts. They're investing in
In the
So-
future of humanity.
Yeah, but really, what do you think looking into the future? What do you see as your place in this offense and with Joe Burrow? What do you think the ceiling is? What do you think the limits are for someone with your talents?
I think about that all the time. I mean, there's really no limits of what I feel like I can
Exactly.
do personally or individually. And then put in a situation like this, I've talked to a couple people about it. I just feel like I've been put in a great situation to learn.
So that's
you know,
$40 million. That's what I'm saying. If you're the top receiver, that's $40 million a year. I hope you don't forget about us at that point.
Don't listen to him. This is
He's trying
a criminal man. Don't listen to him.
He want a piece of the pie, huh?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I would say,
Puppet's
yeah.
gotta eat. A puppet's gotta eat.
Oh yeah, I see. Got a big
Very
appetite.
convoluted plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shed, I don't know if you drink, but say you do. And when you come to Cincy, what teammate do you most want to sit down and have a beer with?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I guess, like personality-wise, I don't know any of these guys, like what they're like. I see them play, but I don't know what they're like. So I guess I would say Charlie or Andre, the other guys, the receivers we picked up this year, one of those guys. But
The other
Excellent.
answer is Stanley Morgan. He's the only other answer. Stanley Morgan seems like the greatest person on the team. I love him.
that was it.
And just so everybody knows this, I have eaten a candy bar with some Bengals players, including the great Boomer Esiason. We sat down and had a Mars bars together.
And that is the extent to which previous Bengals stars supported us financially, Shed. So you would be
It
in
was
that
the
sense,
same
you would be a
Mars bar.
pioneer. You would be a pioneer.
I started on one
Yeah.
end of the Mars bar. He was on the other end of the Mars bar, and we met in the middle. It was great. It was delicious.
Yes, and Boomer then got the sanitizer and wiped it all over his face. Shed.
Shed, if it helps, this is definitely the weirdest Bengals podcast. All the other ones you'll get asked to be on are very normal. No one's going to ask you for money.
Yes, but Shed, it
so-
prepares you. It prepares you for when you go to the games, because the people
are number
watching
one.
the games are much weirder.
No, this is the number one Bengals podcast. Never. Shed, can I ask you one question? It's a big one.
So,
Will you come back on this show after you score your first touchdown? Promise me that.
I'll come back. We can talk about, candy bars, money, whatever y'all want to talk about.
You promise you come back. You score your first touchdown, we get first dibs. Because we
Sure.
were the first, we have a relationship now.
Shed, will you take us out to dinner after you sign
No,
that
that's too much.
massive,
Oh,
massive
no,
contract?
no,
Listen,
Jackie.
no, hold
Becky,
on,
stop
hold
that.
on, hold on,
Ugh,
hold on.
You're giving me.
I want to
That's
say
cringy.
I'm
me
getting
hot.
ahead of the game here. I am predicting he's going to sign a $40 million a year contract. I'm putting it out there. This is the first step of branding. You
Who's
say
the 40
it,
million for? Is it for him or you?
we share
him
it.
and
That
his
is,
family.
I am his unofficial agent. I'm propagating the message of Shed Jackson is the nephew of the greatest athlete in history. That
But
itself is $20
Shed's
million
the
a year.
All right.
That's worth $20 million a year. Greatest athlete in history.
All right.
He want me to put the work in, and we got to share the profit, huh?
Yeah, see,
Shed, I'm going to make sure you're well
Shed's
taken
too
care
smart
of.
for that.
You can, in today's economy, you can survive on $5 million a year. Trust me. But I have a lot of mouths to feed. Yeah.
Get away from this man fast. Just come back on our show if you score your first touchdown. We'll have a party for you. He right here on the show. The whole city of Cincinnati will.
Shed, I feel like we have taken more.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, Shed, I feel like we've taken
Appreciate
more
it.
of your time than we've calculated for, and we're going to be in the negative our budget pretty soon. Shed, yeah.
We are huge fans now, Shed. I'm going to be watching your career. I am going to be tweeting about you. I'm going to be watching you every game. This is awesome. We're so happy to have you on the team. Thank you for coming on the show.
No, so I appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you, Shed.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
this season.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Yep.
I am
Daddy-O,
psyched.
this is
Yeah.
why we can't get
That was
guests.
that
Yeah,
was such
that's
a
our last
great
guest.
interview. I want to tell you
First
something.
and last guest of
We
this
have
season.
never gotten that far with the contract talk before. I feel like so many times we talk about the money. That's the furthest we've gotten.
That poor guy was
His-
just too
I feel like he was about to cave
His-
in. Yeah.
His
He was just
agent
too
is
nice.
gonna- His agent is gonna see that and
He's gonna be like, I need that guy on my side.
No.
Yeah.
He was too
No,
polite to
he's
tell
gonna
you to
be
buzz
like,
off.
I need to run.
You
the
got
other
to ask.
way.
Listen, you always ask small. Have you ever noticed that? I always ask. I always say, "Will you come on our show when?" And then
Yeah.
you get them because see now
Contract.
he's just he's
Look,
just starting.
touchdowns. Look, the touchdown itself. Unless that's John, is that an incentive in his contract? The touchdown? Then that would make sense.
Well, I feel like we all did a bad job of just putting bad things. I mean, Bridget was talking about getting him drunk. Daddy was obviously filling him with delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, it was just me and John.
One
John,
beer.
I swear, John, if you and I ran this show, I feel like things would be so smooth. I was sharing personal stories about Mars bars, and you guys were just going all over the place.
Yeah, but you were talking about touching lips with Boomer Esiason.
Oh, I didn't know you, Lady and the Tramp. ate
Yeah,
He
we
did.
started-
That's what he said. He started on opposite sides with Boomer Esiason. Look, John, where did we leave off with the draft coverage? Did we talk about Brad Robbins, the punter, yet?
Well, actually, we need to get to the receiver that Shed mentioned. Andrew Yoshevich.
Yeah, I'm excited. That guy's good too. I think Daddy was
And
gone.
from Princeton, so he's a smart man.
Yeah.
Love a guy
There-
from an Ivy.
There was a lot on this guy's plate. Like
This
he
guy's
handled
really
a full
athletic.
academic schedule at Princeton while also being like a track star and also
Yeah.
leading the football team in like every statistical category.
He's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Like you want to talk about upside? Look at this.
Oh Lord.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, why is that so good? It looked like the ball was just coming right to him.
Well, it
yeah,
didn't look
I mean,
good because the clip was short, but
yeah. Well, you can play it over and over again. This way, you get no copyright infringement.
Oh, I see. The
It's only
speed.
4
I get it.
seconds.
He beat the guy. I didn't
He
get
beat
it.
the
He
guy.
beat the guy. It's about beating.
His job. He did
that
let's
a
be
lot.
clear. Yeah. His job
That's
is not
awesome.
to. Yeah. Exactly. So he did that, and he did it a lot. You can see how many times.
Oh, look
he
at that
did
one.
it.
Look at that. Oh, he does
Yeah.
it so often.
He keeps doing it, and it's the same spot, and the defenders know it's coming, and they can't do anything about it. It's amazing.
Wow.
it just
I
ran
have,
that one
I have
play,
an idea.
and it
I have an
just worked
idea,
every
Daddy.
time.
We have to just always do that play.
I think so. I think so, John. But John, this guy Iosovicis is. I mean, the man, John.
Not even close. Yoshevich.
It's
Yeah.
Yoshevis. Like a word
John-
you don't like, Daddy.
Yoshevis.
It's like
John,
a
I
word you
think-
don't like, Daddy. It's like a word you
Hold
don't
on.
like. Bolshevik. Which I'm a
John.
Bolshevist.
Now, see,
You're a Bolshevist. I'm a Bolshevist.
The Bengals' strength was wide receiver, and then they went out and drafted 4 wide receivers and added another 8 wide receivers in undrafted free agency, which just tells you that's amazing. That tells you that
you know what it's like, Daddy. It's like a
Yeah.
man with 11 fingers who gets surgery to add a 12th.
Yeah, John.
It's not a draft show if Hoji doesn't offer some type of human advancement in surgery and medical treatment.
Exactly.
firm
When I
believer
give medical
in-
advice, nobody takes it seriously. John, here's the thing about this man. I can't remember because we drafted so many receivers, like 6 or 7 receivers. But was he the
2.
one who's the 14th all time in terms of RAS? Was it him? I think it was. John,
In terms of
since
Galleons,
1987,
Avalanche,
since
Gallops.
1987, John. Since 1987, he's the 14th best receiver. That includes Randy Moss. That includes Jerry Rice. That includes all of these guys since 1987, or maybe Jerry Rice was before in 87. This guy is 14th. That's not amazing?
That's a lot.
He's big, he's fast, he's tall.
That's amazing. And we got him in like the 4th or 5th round. Insane.
That's great. I told you, remember when before we did the draft, I was like, man, the Bengals, they're really good now at the draft. I kind of just trust them. I don't even try. And it's never who we think it's going to be either, by the way. I mean, except when it was Joe Burrow. But I mean, and Jamar Chase. But I mean, other than the like obvious picks, you know.
I got to say, the way the Bengals are drafting, it's exactly the opposite of what you think. I mean, the fact that they didn't, draft 4 punters, I mean, I'm just kind of like,
Just one.
yeah, that's incredible.
Just
they didn't,
the one.
They didn't even draft a backup punter. But no. I like getting all the receivers. I'll tell you why. Last year, we had T. Higgins, and we had all the receivers get injured at some point. And we had Trenton Irvin. He looked okay. But
He looked a little more than okay.
Yeah, come on.
yeah.
No one expected Trenton Irwin to come out and have the season he had as what was he on the roster? 4th, 5th?
Look, I hate to be the buzzkill of the party.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the writing is on the wall that they don't think that in the long run they're going to be able to keep both Jamar and
stop.
T. Higgins. And
We
so
don't
they
know that.
and they want
We
to
don't know
have. I mean, these guys are T. Higgins and Jamar Chase guys. Honestly, it's kind of strange to say this, but in some ways, they are as good at their positions as Joe Burrow is at his. I mean, these guys are going to be so highly sought after. The salary is going to be through
I
the
would
roof,
say that,
especially
look.
if you win a Super Bowl again.
Yeah.
I mean, or go to the Super Bowl again. So I think what they want is they want this young breed to probably take one of those to probably T. Higgins' position. When he gets too expensive to keep, and there you go.
Let's be clear. No one's taking T. Higgins' position. The man would have been Super Bowl MVP. Either him or Logan Wilson would have been Super Bowl MVP. He had 2 touchdowns. He comes up with big plays time and time again. He's amazing. But Jamar Chase is 1 tier above that, right? So it seems like T. Higgins is replaceable. He's not replaceable. But what the Bengals could do is we say, hey, we have one star receiver, we have Jamar Chase, and then we have some other complementary receivers. It seems like they're not going to do that, John. It seems like they are going to go that route of paying these 2 top receivers. That's everything that we've heard from them.
No,
Let
this
me
year,
say
yes.
one
This year, yes. I'm
uninformed
saying
thing.
that I'm not talking about this
Well,
year.
you pay them this year. That's it. I mean, that's another. You have for another 5 years. I mean,
The thing that I keep thinking about is that the Joe Burrow offense is a throwing offense. Like, yes, we need a good running back, but this offense is not rooted in the run game. We certainly need it, but I think they're going to keep a solid wide receiver crew around this guy who just has one of the top football IQs
He is a
of all
throwy.
time.
Yeah, he's a throwy person. He likes to throw things, but
Now let's turn it to John to tell us
hold on.
what's probably actually true.
Yeah,
well, but have we talked about tight end? Because I want to talk about the guy we picked up, John.
No, we gotta let John
the
tell us
show,
about the
but I
wide
just want to
receivers.
I just want to comment that the show has already gone for 40 minutes. Then
Yeah. Well,
got 40 minutes to go.
we picked up 15 players. 11 of them were wide receivers. So we have a lot to cover today.
Guys, I'll just say this. Like, this draft is a clear indication that they're expecting to pay Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase a lot of money. It was just another, like last year was also kind of like that when they drafted Dax Hill to replace Jesse Bates, when they drafted Cam Taylor-Britt to eventually start at cornerback, another expensive position. Miles Murphy, DJ Turner, like these guys for the most, like they're all like future picks for the most part. Like yeah, they can play a little bit this year, but you saw another draft surrounded by defense in the early parts. Like those are the most impactful picks. Those are your top picks. They're going to replace expensive starters on defense because you're going to have expensive starters on offense for this foreseeable future. Like they're planning on paying T.
What about linebacker?
It doesn't happen. Not really expensive.
Yeah. But I mean, they have to keep another linebacker. We don't have any like that. We went from being a weakness in linebacker to a strength. We can't sacrifice that now. I mean, these guys are. Yeah.
The linebackers are running backs of the defense. Like you just need to find decent ones.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I mean, this
John,
team is so physical in other positions and other ways that I think you're going to see. I mean, it's about the big picture, as John always says. And yeah.
I want to talk about tight end, John, because we added the tight end. Who listen to this?
You just want to get these jokes off. I get it.
There's no jokes, John. This tight end is about as athletic as I am. Which
no, he's more.
I mean, John, he's 0.36 out of 100 in athleticism.
He's the opposite of Andre Yoshevich.
Yeah, 0.36.
Well, he weighs a lot. That's got to be worth something.
I can do that. Look, he ran a 5.31 40-yard dash, which is like an offensive lineman.
It is an offensive lineman, yeah.
Yeah. But he was listed at fullback, and then they moved him to tight end.
Yeah,
and he got up to a 0.09.
This is closer to your RAS score, I think. This is 0.09 more than what your score would be.
Here's the thing. You wanted a tight end. They're like, the Bengals front office is like, you wanted a tight end. Here you go. This guy is officially listed as a tight end.
I mean, Daddy, when you draft people, it's not always about who's going to actually start. They might have a vision for trading him. They might want to, have him train for a while. I mean, this is not. Yeah, every team's got to take a few picks here and there.
Yeah, he wasn't. They got him after the draft, right, John? So yeah. I guess they're gonna. I think there's a 50-50 chance Irv Smith holds up the whole season. It's about 50%. So he's got the talent. So we'll see. I guess they're not concerned about tight end. They're not concerned about running back. Really, I mean, unless they go out and add a Zeke Elliott. I don't know. The pass blocking, I mean, it's not going to get a lot better.
The pass blocking only matters if the offensive line stinks. Like your running back's pass protecting is not something that you want to do too often, but it just became a necessity for the Bengals. If Orlando Brown's good, like we expect him to be, and whoever's starting at right tackle is at least decent, you got 5 capable linemen that you don't need to go max protection in the AFC Championship again. That's the hope. It just depends on if the offensive line's going to hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, again, with corner, we drafted 4 corners last year. We drafted another 8 corners this year. One of them, did we talk about Ivy Smith, John?
We have not, but we still have a punter to go about, too.
Oh, right.
Guys, if I could, I just want to comment that when I went to Canada, I got a jet engine for my jacuzzi.
Yeah.
It's broken. The repair guy's here. I gotta log off. Sayonara.
Okay, there he goes. So
it's
look.
Not very environmentally friendly.
Yeah, these guys are always hypocrites. That's their thing. The real ones are like me and you, Bridget. Look.
Don't put me in that category.
Ivy Smith played against Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett. DJ Ivy. Right. And he picked off Kenny Pickett twice. And as Joe Goodboy pointed out, now he's going to have to face him twice a year. So, John.
I think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Pickett's going to have to face Ivy, I think. Yeah.
Right. So tell us a little bit about Ivy, John.
I know nothing about him. And I don't think I really need to because I don't think he's going to make the team, to be honest with you. And maybe that sucks if we're planning on having DJ Ivy on for the next show. Maybe Daddy-O's going to try to pry some of his signing bonus away. But DJ Ivy's fine. Like, he played a lot. He played a lot in college. He, played, over 2,500 snaps at Miami. He was, a fifth-year player. I think he played, close to 60 games or something. But even still, he's a seventh-round quarterback at a position that is very stacked for the Bengals. So if he does end up playing, it's because a lot of guys got injured, and he may not actually be ready to go. But, he's got long arms, 32-inch arms. But, again, I'm not expecting much out of him this year, if anything at all.
Okay, but one place where we suffered and we finally upgraded is punter. So now we finally have a punter who can pin guys deep. He's got the hang time, John. A lot of people are saying his hang time is lower than the NFL average, but it's still a lot better than Drew Chrisman's.
Considerably better than Chrisman. It's about league
Yeah.
average. Like in the past 2 years, his hang time's been okay. Like it's been good. And college punting's a little bit different than pro punting. Like the whole protection schemes are weird. Like the timing's a little bit weird too. But he's got a leg. Like make no mistake, he can just boom it up into the air. So the hang time I don't project to be an issue in the NFL. And actually, his hang time in 2022 was a lot better before he got hurt, and even after he got hurt, his hang time wasn't absolutely terrible. Like he's a good punter. He was one of the few draftable punters this year, and the Bengals got him because they traded back in the third round. They got an extra pick, so good job by them.
And he's got that mustache. And I know a lot of people, but I mean, I think you need that, John. Don't you think so? You need to have some attitude as a punter. Wouldn't you agree?
I don't know, because Kevin Huber was one of the more mundane Bengals players of all time, and he
Little vanilla.
lasted pretty long. Yeah,
Yeah, but remember,
it
but do you
can't
remember-
hurt.
What
I'm
we
just
do
saying
need.
this. I love
I'll-
Kevin Huber. I love Kevin Huber. But do you remember when he took that shot to the jaw? I feel like if he had that kind of mustache, I don't think Antonio Brown would have felt that. You know, he wouldn't have. Yeah.
Is Clark Harris coming back?
Doubtful.
Like
He's
he's,
gonna
probably
retire?
just going to retire, right?
I don't know if he wants to retire, but I don't know if the Bengals have a spot for him.
Interesting.
So I feel like if we need that mustache on special teams, I don't think it has to be the punter, but I think our special teams needs the special mustache.
So just like there's always a Stark in Winterfell, there's always a mustache in the Bengals special teams department.
There
Essentially,
you have it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'm willing to carry the burden of the mustache for this show, Bridget, because clearly you're not doing your part, Bridget. Clearly.
I'm
Well,
not.
you are a burden for sure. Yeah.
Exactly.
John, look, we have a couple other players we got to get through.
I think
We
that was
have the
it.
privilege of
No.
getting through. But
No, that was it.
Calvin Tyler, we didn't talk about. Oh, some of the undrafted
Oh.
free agents.
Oh, okay, yeah, he was good.
He looks good. He looks
Yeah,
like
he
he's got
does.
some
You're right.
moves.
I believe he was the only. No, it was another guy. Never mind. Sorry, wrong analysis.
Yeah. We got Jacob Silers, who might be on the special teams.
This guy,
Working the
yes,
defense.
he
Yeah.
was he has like a signing bonus actually for an undrafted free agent, which means like they are pretty interested in keeping
Yeah.
him around, especially because they only have like probably 3 running backs that they trust right now. So he's got a decent shot at making the team if they keep 4.
And we joke about this tight end, but I mean, he can actually play, John. He can actually catch the ball. So I was obviously I'm going to message him after the show, trying to get him on the show. So no hard feelings there, but I mean he can catch. He can catch. I mean, these athletic profiles, John. Let's be clear. A lot of times, players have amazing athletic profiles and they don't work out in the NFL. It's not that, right?
Sure.
I mean, look, and it's the opposite too. T. Higgins had a very bad one, and the coaches at wherever he went, was it Syracuse? I forgot. They said, look, this guy, he's still growing. Remember, they said he's still like his bones, they're not fully formed and stuff. And they said he's going to develop as an athlete. You remember that, John?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that all we have today?
I think so.
John, Bridget, that was a long
final
show.
grades, I guess. I'll go with a
Oh
B.
yeah, we didn't give our grades. John gives it a B.
I like a B because again, like instant impact, not really there, but that's not really what you're going for. And I think all the picks made sense. No reaches, all good for the most part. Pretty much all good players. All are gonna have some type of a role within the next year. But there wasn't like that was a phenomenal pick. You know, it's hard to do that, but I
Yeah.
think they did what they needed to do. So a B.
Yeah. Bridget?
I'm going B plus, and I'd probably do A minus if I know it wouldn't have made sense to take Michael Mayer, but I really wanted to take Michael Mayer. So for my
I
own
didn't.
pettiness,
He can't
Um,
block. He's not a great blocker. I don't see it.
You
I-
raved about his blocking like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because I thought we were going to take him. I really wanted Sam Laporta. I
Well-
wanted Laporta, yeah.
I go B plus. I feel like you can see a lot more strategy in the way the Bengals are drafting, and I like
Yeah.
that we're building around Burrow. We're thinking strategically about how to keep a young defense that's affordable, and also lets Lou cook at least one more year. So I give it a B plus.
Yeah. Well, I give it a F. Actually, I give it a F plus plus. I'll tell you why. 1F is for frugal, because we really, like John said, we're thinking ahead in terms of the defense. The second one is for fabulous, and the third one is for fantastic. I think what we did, John, was we positioned ourselves we drafted so many receivers, so many corners, that we have a lot of options. All we have left is that right tackle position and running back and tight end and backup quarterback. And then maybe a few other positions. No more than 5 other positions, and we're set. So I like what they did. No, seriously, I do. I like the athleticism we added, I like the speed we added on defense. We really needed an edge rusher. And so, yeah, I am happy with what the Bengals did, John. And I think that's all we got. So with that, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to go to John's page, his websites.
A2zsports.com/
Yes.
Cincinnati.
There you go. Don't forget to follow Bridget's. Yeah, follow Bridget's in a very
You like
gentleman.
dancing cats.
Yes. And subscribe, turn on notifications, and follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time. So long, sweetie.